So, okay. Like I said, I don't know how it works, but that's okay. All right. Let me go ahead and just make the video. What I'm going to do is if you come on and I'm able to see that you're on, I'm going to just acknowledge you because you were here first and you're able to see it live. And for those that see this on YouTube, it is originate as a Facebook Live. So I want to be able to just acknowledge everyone that logs on. So Lasagna, welcome. Mr. Silcott, welcome. Catilia, welcome to this Facebook Live. We're going to call it, well, what I'm calling it is cardiomyopathy is not preventable. That's what I'm calling it. Okay, cardiomyopathy. I don't know if any of the viewers or anybody that listens to this on YouTube knows anyone that was diagnosed or died from cardiomyopathy, but it's a heart condition. All right, Lasagna, hi, welcome. Kyle, welcome. Patron Sanchez, welcome. Now, a lot of my Facebook Lives and a lot of the information I place on my page has to do with health and wellness and has to do with mineral deficiencies. I do believe that mineral deficiencies are responsible for every disease or ailment that exists or persists on this planet. So because that was my belief, I had to go ahead and go down the rabbit hole to prove, that this is the case. And I also had to figure out, what each mineral that is essential, what is it responsible for. I'm also trying to determine what the deficiencies, in those particular minerals do to the human body. So today, I just, got wind of some information because what really amazes me is the medical field, the medical profession, and how they can't cure anything. They can't cure a damn thing. So they always make sure they cover their bases, and say the same things across the board that they can't cure this. This is not curable. And so I was reading, I'm going to do a little share because I was reading about cardiomyopathy. Now, I happen to know that this is related to selenium deficiency, okay? So, Akira, I wanted to welcome you. Melody, welcome. Like I said, guys, I'm going to acknowledge people that come on live because this broadcast did originate as a Facebook Live, and when you put it up on YouTube, you guys are going to hear me acknowledging everyone that logs on. All right, again, so we're talking about selenium and how it's related to cardiomyopathy, okay? So I'm going to start off with the Mayo Clinic. If you were to type in your browser cardiomyopathy, it'll pull up, on the right-hand side. Let me see if I could do this right now. Oh, man, I can't share it while I'm doing this. See, that's why I say I don't even know how this thing works. Okay, so anyway, so if you guys could follow along if you want to do it this way, just pull up, put in your browser cardiomyopathy, and it's going to pull up, like I said, the Mayo Clinic information on the very right-hand side of the screen in large, bold letters. It's going to say cardiomyopathy, and it's going to say that cardiomyopathy is a condition where the heart muscle is abnormal, okay? The main types of cardiomyopathy include dilated, hypertrophic, and restrictive cardiomyopathy. And then they're going to go ahead, if you click on that, they're going to define, the different types of cardiomyopathy, where hypertrophic cardiomyopathy has to do, it involves the thickening of your heart muscle, particularly affecting the muscle of your heart's main pumping chamber, the left ventricle. The thickened heart muscle can make it harder for the heart to pump blood. And as that difficulty increases, you end up getting a heart attack, okay? They say it can develop at any age, but the condition tends to be more severe if it starts, from childhood. Then they categorize it as restrictive cardiomyopathy. That's where the heart muscle it becomes rigid and less elastic, meaning the heart can't properly expand and fill with blood between heartbeats. So it doesn't properly expand. This is another way that you'll get a heart attack, okay? So as I'm reading these things, I wish I could do a share because I wanted to show you, what it says when it comes to preventing cardiomyopathy. This is very typical of what the medical profession is going to say. So prevention, you probably know what it says. It says in many cases, you can't prevent cardiomyopathy. It says, let your damn doctor know if you have a family history of the condition. So what they're saying is, and look what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that it's through family history. People with a family history of cardiomyopathy, heart failure, and sudden cardiac arrest are more likely to develop cardiomyopathy than are those without a family history of heart problems. So they're trying to say it's a genetic condition. Okay? So what they're trying to convince you of is that if your daddy got a heart attack, you're going to get a heart attack. If your daddy has cardiomyopathy, you're going to have it. If your daddy has high blood pressure, you're going to have a greater chance of getting it. What they're not telling you is the reason that is because you and your daddy eating the same food. You and your daddy's deficient in the same minerals because you're eating the same foods. Okay? If I'm eating from, let's say we had a control area where we planted food in a field, and this is the food for this one family, but it only had 3 minerals placed in it. We grew food in it, and then we fed that food to that family. Now, to yield any plant, for it to yield, it has to have the minimum of 3 minerals, which is nitrogen. And people that grow weed know this, by the way. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. That's it. You will get a yield, meaning that it will grow. Okay? So if you just put those 3 minerals, that's what you're going to generate. That's what the plant is going to absorb in terms of the minerals. And when you eat that plant, if it's edible, you're going to receive those minerals from that plant in whatever balance amounts that it absorbed it in. Is going to be able to transfer to you. Okay. Now, the problem is with that is that if that family only ate those plants that had only solely those 3 minerals in the soil, you're going to be deficient in 57 other minerals. And therefore, you will be one of those families that has cardiomyopathy conditions, heart conditions, high blood pressure, a whole bunch of different scenarios. If that was the only thing that you were eating was the plants that were grown in this particular field that only had those 3 minerals, okay? If he wasn't eating any meat, meaning no meat was eating, or if even the cows that you ate those plants in particular, then you would only get those minerals. Does that make sense? So when they say that it's a condition where, when it says that it's a condition where it's genetic, it's not genetic, it just has to do with environment. If your family is eating the same foods bought from the same Kroger and the same milk from the same cow and is deficient in certain minerals, then yes, you are going to have a chance of getting the same disease. Does that make sense? I want to make sure you understand that. Don't let any, I like to cuss, so I'm going to calm it down. Don't let any mother flipper try to convince you that these diseases are genetic. It is not genetic. It has nothing to do with your genes. It has to do with eating the food from the same environment, the same place, having the same deficiencies of minerals. Okay? All right, now we're going to move on to the next point. So basically what I read for you guys, according to the Mayo Clinic, is that cardiomyopathy, I'm going to scroll along and read it again, in terms of prevention, you can't prevent cardiomyopathy. Let your doctor know if you have a family history of this condition. Now, cardiomyopathy in animals goes by different names. So let's talk about the animals. First animal we're going to talk about is the cow. In the cow, it's called stiff muscle, white muscle disease. So I want you to pull that up. I want you to pull up white muscle disease. It's going to take you to a site where it's going to talk about cattle diseases. Now, if they couldn't get rid of white muscle disease in calves, your meat would be $250 a pound, because these calves would be dying left and right because they're eating foods that aren't nutrient dense. If they were just eating the grass, it won't be nutrient dense. And therefore now you have calves, that's getting all types of diseases left and right, and they would die. And the ones that didn't die, that they would use for food, would have to be priced higher because it's a supply and demand thing. That's how they're going to make it That's why they're going to charge you more money. And you ain't buying no damn piece of meat for no $250 a pound. So they had to make sure they came up, the veterinarians and all the people, all the scientists had to figure out how they could prevent these diseases from occurring in cows. Now, white muscle disease is cardiomyopathy. It's the same thing that's not preventable according to the medical field in humans, but it's preventable in calves. Okay, let's look at the cause of cardiomyopathy. These are there are two forms of white muscle disease: a congenital form that affects the cardiac muscle and a delayed form that's associated with either cardiac or skeletal muscle. Now it says that calves affected by this form of white muscle disease usually die within 2 to 3 days of birth due to cardio-muscle degeneration. The treatment, okay, the treatment is this. Cattle affected by white muscle disease have been treated with sodium selenite, which is a form of selenium, and vitamin E in sterile emulsion. This can be administered, right? The selenite, 1 milligram selenium and 50 milligrams of vitamin E per 18 kilograms. So they're doing it by body weight. Okay, if necessary, the treatment may be repeated 2 weeks later. Okay, so you give that to the calf and it can reverse these effects of cardiomyopathy known as white muscle disease. It says prevention, to prevent it. That was the treatment. That means if he had it, this is what you would do. And then the prevention is such: give your cows 15 milligrams of selenium, usually sodium selenite, 4 weeks before calving. So they know, and I don't know what year they figured this shit out, but they knew how to prevent cardiomyopathy in cows because they were witnessing that the calves were dying from white muscle disease. That was the thickening, or actually the thickening of the muscle, the cardiac muscle, the thinning of brittleization, if that's a word, of the muscle, the 2 different types that we talked about for humans, happening in the calves, and they started giving them selenium, knocked it out, okay? So to prevent it, you just give them selenium prior to calving, and if they had the actual disease, you treat it with selenium and vitamin E, okay? So they figured out how to cure it in calves, but they haven't figured out how to cure it in humans. Let's see what they do with sheep. In sheep, what do they call it? It's called stiff lamb's disease in sheep. Okay, that's what it's called in sheep. Stiff lamb's disease. No, I wish I could show you the picture of what it looks like when the animals have cardiomyopathy or stiff lamb disease or white muscle. They call it white muscle because it actually looks like a piece of the heart. Looks like how do you say it? Looks like a piece of fish, like a white fish. So the treatments for white muscle disease in your sheep, it says, guess what? It can successfully be treated by administering injections of selenium, again, vitamin E, or administering a rapidly digested gel or paste. You know what I'm saying? So you could give them, again, selenium and vitamin E, and then you prevent it in sheep. So now you don't have to be paying $250, you know, for what kind of meat come from sheep again? You know, lamb, for your lamb. So they figured out how to cure cardiomyopathy in animals, but like they're saying in humans, they have no idea. You have to go to your doctor. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about selenium. Selenium is one of the essential minerals that I've been researching. Okay, this is an amazing mineral. So we're going to talk a little bit about selenium, and if I could pull it up really quickly, selenium, and this particular protein or this particular antioxidant that your body generates.
Glutathione.
Hear that? Listen to it again.
Glutathione.
I wanted to make sure she said it because I keep jacking up the pronunciation. Glutathione, right, is a compound involved in a coenzyme in oxidation reduction reaction in cells. Well, what does that mean, Amistad? Because it sounds complicated. All right, glutathione, right? It is indigenous, not indigenous, but endogenous. Now, the reason why I had to look up endogenous is because it sounded like indigenous, and it means the same thing. If someone is indigenous to an area, they originated from that area. This glutathione is endogenous, which means the same thing. It has to do with the origin, but it's the origin in your body, meaning that glutathione is the firstborn, is from your body, and it comes from your body. It is one of the major, one of the major antioxidants created by your body. So they're saying it is one of the major endogenous antioxidants produced by the cells, participating directly in the neutralization of free radicals. I think you guys kind of familiar with free radicals and antioxidants. These are the key words. Antioxidants are anything that prevents your body from rusting. What do I mean? When your body's rusting, it's an accelerated aging, all right? So oxidation in the body is not good, and free radicals are what causes this, okay? So what you want is the ability to be able to remove free radicals. So they say eat foods that are rich in antioxidants. Now, foods that you're eating that has antioxidants, are they endogenous? No, they're exogenous, meaning they're coming from an outside source into your body. But guess what? Glutathione, when you bring exogenous antioxidants into your body, it supports them. It maintains their existence. So it does a twofold job. It does its job, and it helps the other antioxidants to do their job. The only issue is not efficient if it's missing selenium, meaning that when your body generates glutathione and it starts to go and eat the free radicals, like Pac-Man eats the pellets. So let's imagine that Pac-Man is the glutathione. It's just chomping on free radicals in the cell or in your cataracts, because cataracts come when you have a lot of free radicals generated in here. It gives you blurry vision. You can't really see shit. You need more light. You understand? You need more light at nighttime. Night vision, night driving is more difficult for you. And then the doctors say the only thing that you can do is get an operation and replace your actual cataract with something artificial, which, you know, anything you put in your body that's artificial, your body goes buck wild crazy and fights against it. So if your doctor recommends that you put something in your eye and remove your cataract, I want you to exercise the words that a child would use when it doesn't want something. Tell them no. That's what you say, okay? Say no, all right? So glutathione, again, is endogenous, and so it's created by your cells. Now, anything that's exogenous, such as vitamin C and E, they help and support it. That's what glutathione does. Now, it says that glutathione, it has roles in progression of the cell cycle. I'm going to read this scientific shit for you, and then we're going to break it down if we need to. It has roles in progression of the cell cycle, including the cell death. GSH, which has to do with the GSH levels, the glutathione levels, regulate redox changes to nuclear proteins necessary for the initiation of cell differentiation. All right. So it also has a play in determining if it's a muscle cell versus a white blood cell versus a red blood cell. Okay. So it does that too. Okay. Differences in GSH levels also determine the express mode of cell death, being either apoptosis or cell necrosis, which is a word that means death. Manageably low levels result in a systematic breakage of the cell, whereas excessively low levels results in rapid cell death. That's not good. Okay, so free radical damage is what is responsible for myriad of diseases. All right, glutathione is produced by the body to attack free radicals. Selenium, which is what we're talking about, is what powers up glutathione by an incredible amount. Meaning, I don't know if you guys have kids, but if you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, you know when Goku and them guys just start powering up, they're just like, they power up and the hair turns yellow and they raise their power level. That's what selenium does to glutathione. Glutathione is like Goku, and then that's powering up is like he eats selenium power pellets or something and he just gets stronger. So what it's going to do in effect is keep the glutathione eating all the free radicals in your body without it expiring too quickly. Because if you don't have selenium, it expires really quickly. Understand what I'm saying, guys? This is the purpose of selenium, to help in keeping glutathione in your body so that it can kill free radical damage, okay? All right, great, we covered that portion. So we understand that selenium helps to prevent cardiomyopathy. But what else? Okay, it also helps to prevent to retard the progression of HIV into AIDS. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that. I actually heard a guy say that brought up selenium to me maybe like 3 to 4 months ago, and it was saying that if you want to eat whatever you want, you better make sure you're taking selenium, because most of the foods that you're eating, they've been irradiated. And so since they've been irradiated, it keeps them on the shelf a lot longer so they don't spoil as quickly. And this irradiation makes it difficult for your body to digest, and it causes a lot of free radical generation from inside of the stomach in the gastric, I can't pronounce the word right now, but in the stomach region, and those free radicals start spilling out into your body. You need to have selenium assisting with making glutathione strong, so it could go ahead and get rid of the free radical damage that's occurring in your body. Okay, so what I covered today is some of the benefits. So I'm going to go over really quickly health benefits of selenium. I'm going to post this up a little bit later so you guys could see it in a diagram format. One purpose is anti-cancer. It promotes cancer cell suicide, inhibits tumor blood vessels, detoxifies cancer-causing agents, reduces oxidative stress, and stabilizes your DNA. Now, what does it mean when it says stabilize your DNA? You guys got to understand what this means. The actual structure, the helix formation with the struts that they're saying has the struts in it, selenium is integral in maintaining that strut formation. So what forms it helps to keep the form. It is one of the basic building minerals in your DNA. Okay, so it stabilizes your DNA. If your DNA was to break down, then it causes more stress in your body, and you accelerate age, you get disease, and you're dying. You're just going to die a lot quicker. You're going to die miserably. If you guys don't get what I'm saying to you guys tonight, understand this. If you don't get these 90 minerals, nutrients, amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins in your body, you're going to die horribly. I'm just letting you know right now. It's going to be horrible for you. You know, and my thing is, we know we're going to die eventually, but why not live and live a wonderful life and live a fruitful life? Imagine living till 120 and still able to run as fast as the young boys. Wouldn't that be awesome? Because you can do it if you take care of your body. Okay, so we see anti-cancer as one of the benefits. Anti-aging, it preserves DNA integrity. Again, with the DNA. Maintains telomere length to inhibit the aging process, reduces mitochondrial oxidative stress. This is on a cellular level, guys, that selenium is so important to you. Anti-asthma, arthritis, muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, due mainly to the antioxidant effects of the seleno enzymes, okay? So it's anti-asthmatic, it's anti-arthritis, it prevents muscular dystrophy. It also prevents muscular sclerosis, because that's free radical damage in the brain, and cystic fibrosis. So you got to make sure you're getting your selenium, guys, okay? This is just one essential mineral out of 89 other nutrients that you need to have in your body. I'm telling you, when we start talking about the other 89, and I break it down for you, and you get all of this knowledge, ain't nobody gonna be able to stop you guys, okay? Ain't no doctor that's gonna be able to tell you no bullshit that you need to get, you know, that you need to take chemotherapy, or you need to do hip replacement surgery, whatever the bullshit they're gonna try to get you to do. You tell them no, okay? So we're gonna do this research, and we're gonna figure this shit out for ourselves. Is that clear? Okay, what else does it do? It improves fertility. So it's vital in sperm cell development and function, and it reduces the risk of miscarriage. Did you know that about selenium? I mean, how many women you know that had a miscarriage? Huh? See, guys, when a baby is being formed, it needs to get 90 essential nutrients and vitamins to help with the proper formation of any child. And birth defects are all results. They're all results of vitamin, nutrient, and mineral deficiencies. Okay, all of them. So if you want to blame anybody, blame your pediatrician, because that joker should go to jail. All right, no child should come out with a birth defect because they're nutrient deficient. All right, so antiviral. Next point, because this that kind of hits home because I know about the miscarriages with my lady, and I didn't know this stuff then. So antiviral. Under selenium deficient conditions, RNA viruses, influenza, HIV, hepatitis B and C, measles, they multiply faster under selenium deficient conditions. So if you have selenium present in the amounts that is supposed to be present, you could inhibit, the multiplying of what? These diseases progression. You slow and retard the progression of the disease. They're not going to say reverse, but I believe you could reverse it. Okay, so this is why I'm doing this research. Right? Okay, selenoenzymes, thyroid regulation. This is another benefit of selenium. Over 35 selenoenzymes have vital roles, including thyroid hormone regulation, antioxidant effects, and DNA synthesis. Anti-heart disease and anti-diabetes. Reduces inflammation, cholesterol plaque buildup, and lipid peroxidation. Reduces homocysteine, another heart disease risk factor. Regulates blood pressure. Also, low selenoenzyme GPX is a predictor of heart disease, and it helps to restore glycemic control. Okay, I wanted to show you guys a diagram that I saw about where they talk about selenoenzymes GPX. Well, we're going to talk about that later because I don't want to do this video for too long. So it also boosts immunity, stimulates NK cells, B cells, T cells, and macrophages. Okay, so it boosts your immune system. It improves your brain function, protects the brain cells, alleviates depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. So why did they teach you this? Why did they teach me this when I was young in school? You see, the reason why we don't know these things about these minerals is because they want us to be dependent on the current system, dependent on the doctor, because my kids were watching a cartoon the other day about how they need to trust the doctor and get an x-ray from them and do what the doctor says, take their medication. And this is what it was teaching my kid, teaching the kids out there that was watching this. I went out there and straight blasted it. I just went crazy. I was like, that's a lie. Okay, I want to make sure we have to learn really how to take care of ourselves and take care of our families. So I'm gonna put this diagram up, the health benefits of selenium. But before I do that, I wanted to see if you guys had any questions. So I didn't, because I wasn't in watching you guys. Great information, great info. Join, right? That's Catilia. And I want to give all the medicine that doesn't help. One person said peace and love. So peace and love, guys. The money is not in the cure, it's in the treatment. We all understand, yes. And so we understand all that. So that's today's Facebook Live. That's on Selenium. I had to use my my camera, my telephone as lighting because it was too dark, in this room. So that's why it looked like I got my my dubious lighting over here. And so guys, do your research, about essential minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids. Do your research. When I got that bottle of NutriBurst, okay, I bought when I bought my first bottle of NutriBurst, I wasn't paying attention. I just bought it because I wanted to market it to people, but I didn't know why. I didn't know why I should sell this bottle of NutriBurst to people. I didn't know why. I just wanted to make money. That's where it started. That was 2 years ago. Okay, fast forward now to 6 months ago, where I didn't do anything for almost 2 years with this particular company that I'm affiliated with. They didn't do a damn thing, okay? But my health, it got better when I started using the NutriBurst 2 years ago, and then declined again after. And I was like, well, when I started back doing the detox, because I suffered, before I started back again 6 months, hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids so severe that when I take a shit, the whole toilet bowl would fill up with blood. I want you to understand how scary that is. Okay? Every time I use the restroom, I bleed. The toilet bowl fills up with blood. There were times that when it started bleeding, it would just drip, drip, drip. And I'm trying to use the restroom, and I see the blood just dripping. And then I'm trying to figure out how to stop it. So I'm just trying to use toilet paper, and it just wouldn't stop. 10, 15 minutes going by, drip, drip. How much blood did I lose? You know how scary that is? How many pints of blood is in a human body? Is it 4 pints or 5 pints? Right? So by the time I drip all that out, that's almost a whole pint of damn blood that I lost. I was so afraid to use the toilet because of that. Okay? So I would not use it. I mean, I would have to use it, but I didn't want to use it because I know just the other day, you know, I lost a pint of blood. So now I can't even use the toilet the next day because I'm afraid I'm going to lose another pint of blood. Okay? Then I had an injury that I had from a previous job where I hurt my back. Okay? I hurt my back trying to lift up a really heavy container in the freezer, and I slipped a little bit, and then, you know, my back was just out of whack, but it wouldn't heal. A whole 9 months went by before my back would heal. And so when I started again using the detox tea and the NutriBurst, right? I started again. That was like by month 8, I was still in pain, and I was working out every single day because I started a challenge called the 55-day challenge, where I wanted to change my body. I wanted to change my mindset because depression had set in. I ain't really had no job. I lost my job. So it was 2 months. I was just living in this apartment, a single room apartment up in Sandy Springs. And I just stayed in a room, didn't eat much, and I was just trying to figure out what to do in my life. You understand? Just depressed. And then I was like, I remember saying, you know what, you got to do something, man. So you got to get, first of all, you need some money, or else you ain't gonna be able to pay next week rent. That was my first issue. So I had to go in and find me a job. I ain't telling nobody. Nobody don't know what the flip going on. My family don't know because I ain't talking to nobody. Okay, that's what happened when you're in depression. You don't say shit. You don't want to talk to anybody. Okay, so I eventually got a job working at the Publix, and then I got a gym membership probably a week to 2 weeks later. And then I started going to the gym every day in pain, by the way, because I had the severe back pain. All right. My joints were in pain. My elbows, I couldn't even put my elbow on a table and rub it like I'm doing right now. Like how I'm rubbing this on this table like this. That was severe pain for me. Okay. When I would bend, my knees would crackle, and it would be painful just to bend and try to stand up. Bending over was horrible. I had to do it every day and stretch out because my back was in severe pain from the injury. All right. Athletes, I'm going to tell you something about people that do the kind of workouts that I do. Their lifespan, their mortality rate is 51 years. Okay. They die before sedentary people. Way faster. Sedentary people live until 74, 75 today. Right. Doctors, their mortality rate is 56, 57. All right. So athletes, personal trainers, all them jokers, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. See, working out is not, people aren't obese because because of not working out and solely because of not eating right. It's because of a mineral deficiency. See, the mineral deficiency causes depression. It causes obesity. It causes a slew of different diseases. I could just keep rattling them off. Dementia, Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, high blood pressure, hypertension, type 1, type 2 diabetes. I mean, every disease that you know, I could even tell you what mineral causes it, what mineral deficiency causes that. It's fucking amazing. See, when I started back using that NutriBurst, and I looked in the back of the bottle and I saw that it had, 72 essential minerals. It had all of the essential amino acids in it. It just don't have the fatty acids in it. It had all the vitamins. Something just hit me. Something hit me right up here. Something told me, why you need 72? Why you need 72? Why so much? Are you just going to believe, these people from Total Life Changes that you need 72 essential? And the reason why I questioned it because the word that was used was essential. And essential mean it's like mandatory. If you don't get it, you're gonna die. It's like air is essential, right? So I just started doing research and I found out that it's actually 90 because it was 60 minerals, 12, 17, and 2 make 90 amino acids and everything. And then I just started looking them up, man. Just started looking them up. When I started using that NutriBurst, my hemorrhoids went away. Yeah? The joint pain went away. The back pain went away. I still have some back pain. That lets me know that I'm still calcium deficient, so I need to work on that. Okay, guys? You guys have a good day, man. I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know a little bit about Selenium today, okay? All right, thank you.